The Trump regime is manufacturing a crisis, and this is what authoritarians do. They create an imaginary problem so they can roll in, take away rights, declare martial law. And this is what he wanted to do in Trump 1.0. And now he's surrounded by a bunch of psychos that will do it with him. But it's important to take a little trip down history lane. How did we get here? How did this man grow his Latino support when all I heard on the campaign trail was immigration, invasion, these people are going to kill us, these people are racist, and on and on. So let's take a look at this post. Inhumane, says the Latinas for Trump founder, condemns White House immigration crackdown. And this is where I am just somewhat mystified, because I heard everything that he said. And I know from growing up in white circles that white people don't cherry pick which people of color they like and what they don't like. It's a generalized, they're different from us. They are not the same as us. They're not, quote, real Americans.
What strikes me is so odd on two fronts. Number one, the Madison Square Garden rally alone should have been enough to let everybody know it was white men. That's who they wanted. And then I look at this and I think, what's terrifying is these people don't ever plan on ceding power, because they would have a stroke if Biden did something like this, or Obama. This is the most alarming thing that Trump has done, and he has done a lot of alarming things.
But this Latinas for Trump founder here, she is complicit in this.
Yes.
Because he went in and he got people to believe him. Whispers behind the back. Here's the deal. We're not going to deport you all. We're going after the hardened criminals. And this is where, when you align yourself with people who express hatred and bigotry towards the same group in which you belong, they're going to turn the knives on you. This is why Scott Bessent, out of the closet homosexual Secretary of the Treasury, needs to watch out. This is why Elon Musk, who Steve Bannon is already calling on him to get deported, needs to watch out, because when you join in on the hate against your own identity, that hate is going to ricochet towards you. And here's just a basic American in Vermont, and listen to what he had to say. We voted for Trump to fix the border. Now we're milking cows alone at 4 a.m. We didn't think they'd come for the people who help us milk cows. Locals don't want to do this work anymore. This is Dustin Machia, a fifth-generation dairy farmer from Sheldon, Vermont. And here's what I have to say to this. This tells you how powerful the right-wing media ecosystem is. Vermont is about as far from the border that you could be. But Fox News plays these caravans, and then it's cut and clipped and put all over the United States with the help of Russia and a bunch of troll farms that help magnify and create this facade of support that Trump has. So when this Vermont farmer is online and he sees that this post is boosted by 3, 4, 5 million, a lot of it is a robot farm that Elon Musk himself created to help game the algorithm, to help game the system with an assist and a layup from Fox News. It creates this imaginary problem that there are all of these immigrants at the border, migrants at the border, just storming through with knives and machine guns and drugs and just committing crimes with reckless abandon.
Well, and what's so interesting about all of this, I've seen these triple Trumpers saying this, like, I didn't think you were going to deport my wife. It's the cognitive dissonance that now they're being punished for. Like you said, you are a part of the group that you went against. The cruelty is the point with these people. They take no prisoners. And I look at so many minority groups, particularly Palestinians in the United States, that were protesting and voted for Trump. It's like now he wants to turn it into Trump Gaza. I have a hard time empathizing with these problems, because if they would have just taken a little bit of care and gotten past the lie, they would have known this was coming.
This is the problem with this Vermont farmer right here, is he didn't have enough of moral backbone to say, wait a minute, my farm is we employ a lot of immigrants, and they work their asses off. and he couldn't fight for them. He couldn't fight for them. And this I see duplicated and translated all over the United States of America. People go along with bigotry. They just go along with it, and then they look the other way and say, that's not going to affect my personal life. And this happens with the LGBTQ plus community. This happens with the Black and brown community. And now it's affecting these people's pocketbooks. And now he all of a sudden cares. I don't know how you get people to care about other people before it affects them if they don't already have that in them. But let's remember what Trump's first, during Trump 1.0, what his Secretary of Defense said about him. This is what Trump wanted to do in 1.0 when he was just surrounded by right-wingers, not fascists. Play the clip.
He called Mike Pence an effing loser?
He didn't call him directly, but he was looking at him when he was saying it. And it really caught my attention. And I thought, we're at a different spot now. He's going to finally give a direct order to deploy paratroopers into the streets of Washington, D.C., and I'm thinking with weapons and bayonets. And this would be horrible. He says, can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something. And he's suggesting that that's what we should do, that we should bring in the troops and shoot the protesters.
The commander-in-chief was suggesting that the U.S. military shoot protesters.
Yes, in the streets of our nation's capital.
Okay, so that should have immediately been disqualifying. The Supreme Court decided not to do anything on that, actually to give him immunity for such things. Mitch McConnell, the Senate, decided not to do anything about that. And this guy's one of their own. Right. This guy is a Republican, a conservative. He's clearly not lying. There's no question he wasn't lying. And then now this is what Trump's doing, because he's surrounded by people that not only do they not care about other people, they want to be cruel to other people. The cruelty is at the heart of this. And then they want to control and consolidate power behind really just a dipshit of a person. I mean, just not even a smart person.
On a fifth grade reading and communicating level, the thing about this that terrifies me so much is, where does it end? He's gone into California because he hates Gavin Newsom, and they were doing a peaceful protest. And I heard or read repeatedly that these were peaceful protests, but he doesn't care because he likes to think that he is in charge. And it's a clear violation of states' rights, but these people don't care about the law.
Whether it's a peaceful protest or not, it is the governor's job.
That's right.
To request the National Guard, not the federal government to step in and voluntarily send them. So either these people are states' rights or they're not. But as it gets down to the MAGA movement, they are whatever harms the blacks, the browns, the LGBTQs, the trans. Whatever harms them the most will flip from being states' rights to strong federal government to, they just flip and flip and flip. That's what they are there for. And I don't know what it is, the flaw in American society, where so many people just go along with bigotry. They just go along with it until it affects them personally. And I don't understand that. I don't have that in me. I'm not able to have Black and brown friends, LGBTQ plus friends, female friends, and then do something behind their back that would harm them or harm their community, and then able to face them without feeling that. I don't understand that moral shortcoming. And that's at the core of this, because so many people, 77 million, go along with this. Of that 77 million, a ton are like hardcore religious people, and they're just fine with all of this brazen lawlessness and cruelty. But here's where it gets worse. We heard from his Secretary of Defense 1.0. Here's Secretary of Defense 2.0, untreated alcoholic Pete Hegseth, who says, the violent mob assaults on ICE and federal law enforcement are designed to prevent the removal of criminal illegal aliens from our soil, a dangerous invasion facilitated by criminal cartels, aka foreign terrorist organizations, and a huge national security risk. Okay, all of that is lies. All right, second paragraph. Under President Trump, violence and destruction against federal agents and federal facilities will not be tolerated. It's common sense. The Department of Defense is mobilizing the National Guard immediately to support federal law enforcement in Los Angeles. And if violence continues, active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton will also be mobilized. They are on high alert. Ruth Ben Gate, who is the premier expert in the United States on authoritarianism, she says this is dictatorship 101. Create an imaginary problem so that you can move in and act like you're solving it. This does not, think about it, these people didn't call the National Guard on January 6th. And they are immediately moving in because picking on Governor Newsom hits hard in their base. Picking on immigrants hits hard in their base. Having big military force parading around hits really hard with their, gun-obsessed, minority-hating base. It's unbelievable to me. I worked as an interior designer, still do, for 25 plus years. You go to a job site, I'm in construction sites every day of my job for the last 25 years. It's hot, it's cold, it's raining, whatever. You have all of these people working on the job site. The immigrant labor is above and beyond any of the quote unquote white Americans on the job site. And they get exploited by getting paid cheaper. And these people have no problem exploiting them and paying them cheaper labor. They have no problem with that whatsoever. And then per the MAGA movement, these people should not receive health care. So if you get cut on the job site or you fall down and break something, tough titties. You're not going to get health care, so we're going to rip you off and not pay you enough. And then if you fall and injure yourself or get cut, we're not going to get you health care. And then we're going to turn the military against you. I mean, these people are such craven, disgusting people. I have a very difficult time at this stage in MAGA, and I mean a really difficult time, being around anybody who voted for him that third time. It is such a deep moral flaw and such an inhumane level of cruelty that I just think this is different. This is completely different from anything this country has ever seen. And the ability of people to still be on this train is just a moral flaw that I simply cannot get past.
Well, I think the through line, when I look at it, is individualism versus collectivism and putting profits over people. And the one group that supported Trump, over 95% in voting for Trump for a third time, were evangelical Christians. And that is because they think they are better than these people. They are white, they are privileged, and they are better. So it is so easy to dehumanize people and be cruel to people because they think they're better.
All right. And then lastly, here's what Governor Newsom has to say about all of the threats against his state. They've called for his arrest and all sorts of crazy fascist authoritarianship. But here's Governor Newsom.
Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror, the hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
The perception is there's a lot of...
I mean, this is the kind of fight you have to take. We won't get into what Gavin Newsom does on his podcast, Side Project. We've discussed that before. But right now, as people who oppose fascism, we're going to have to build a coalition of centrists, liberals, and leftists, and even conservative Republicans that aren't fascists to beat this, because this is escalating at such a level that we have to find unity in that we oppose this type of inhumane cruelty and authoritarian power grabs across the board. And so in a normal political cycle, I am mad at Gavin Newsom because he sat down with Charlie Kirk and threw the trans community under the bus. And I still can put that over here and be upset about that. But what this is escalating to is we have to defend these marginalized people at all costs. And this is going to make all of us, sometimes we can't just micromanage every person that opposes Trump's actions. I don't like a lot of the stuff that the Democrats are doing. And then if we get to individual Democrats, I'm just like, oh, God, this is not the way. But the way forward is for all of us to form alliances like they do in Europe to beat fascism. You have people from center all the way to far left that form alliances to beat this far right authoritarianism. And that is the way forward. All right, this is scary shit. This is so messed up. Please subscribe to our channel. We're going to keep reporting on this, and we will see you all later.